Welcome to my first video. I'm going to start creating content around Blood Bowl, what I think about Blood Bowl, tips and strategies. Um, I've been playing for a long time. I try to visit tournaments. I just did Chaos Cup and a local tournament in Utah called Rocky Mountain Ringers Rebellion, where we make our own custom players. And we talked a lot about the draft. And the draft is where there's a pool of models, one model from each team, and you take turns picking them based off how powerful they are, how well you think they'll work in unison, and then building a custom team based on those players. And it got me thinking just what are the best Blood Bowl players, and what are the stats and costs and abilities that really make them stand out as a good player versus a middling player versus a pretty bad player. Like, what's the difference between a Wood Elf War Dancer and a basic Snotling, and where would they exist on that tier system? So this is most of the positionals in Blood Bowl. I left out Old World Alliance and Renegades just because there's so many kind of characters and they're kind of redundant. Um, and generally, they're just strictly worse. There are some, maybe the Skaven Blitzer on uh, Underworld, which I left in because the access to mutations just makes it such a stronger character. Um, yeah, so let's just get into it. And here, these are just my opinions. I'm sure other people will have success with some of these positions that maybe I haven't had success with, or I don't have as much experience with the team. For instance, I've never played goblins in the nearly 20 years I played Blood Bowl. I don't know. I don't know if I have, but I've definitely played against them enough times to know a little bit about what I think these positions should be. I think I've also never played Elven Union. Um, yeah, and I haven't played Imperial Nobility. They just haven't been around long enough. Um, yeah, so let's get into it. The first one is just an Amazon line woman. I'm gonna reserve S tier for things that aren't just good, but specifically above the meta, kind of meta defining. These are the best things in the game. So I think all of the most of the good stuff's going to be about A. Um, Knowing that, I feel like an Amazon line woman is probably a B. I think pretty middling stats. I mean, she's movement 6, which is, I would say, average. Not great, but average. And average agility, average strength, blow armor. Dodge is a useful skill. It's hard to knock him down. I think that makes him pretty good. I think the same thing for the catcher. Um, she just has a price tag that makes sense. Not really great. Most of the times, you don't really even want to give it to the catcher. I definitely would rather hand it off to a blitzer. Um, this is another situation where I think the thrower probably is overcosted. I don't need dodge on a thrower, and I don't want to pay a premium for that. Um, which brings in the blitzer, and I gotta give her an A. I think coming with block and dodge at that price point, I think she's 90K, is definitely excellent, and that's gonna make her a top tier character in my eyes. Um, Maybe not the best, but definitely block dodge is an A. For the Chaos Dwarves, interesting, the Chaos Dwarf blocker is not the same as a Dwarf blocker. The difference is the Chaos Dwarf blocker has a worse passing stat at a 6, but has mutation access. So, as such a good character, I'm going to give them. They're so good. They come with all the necessary skills you need. I'm going to give them an A. Between the armor, the block, the tackle, the thick skull, just really fantastic. Um, Poor guy at 40K, just got to put him in C. Just isn't doing enough. Uh, has to be your ball handler, unfortunately. I'm sure you'd take anything else. Um, I don't know if this is a hot take, but when I think about the Bull Centaur, I think of them as you use them like you'd use a Chaos Warrior. They tend to do a lot of ball handling, even though they're lower agility. And that's because they just have such reliable speed. So a Chaos Warrior's movement 5 and a Bull Centaur's movement 6 But with the sprint and sure feet, they're effectively movement 9. And it's rare you'll see somebody not rely on that re-rolling 1. Um, Although, if you can avoid doing it, don't roll it. Anytime you can resist rolling a die is a time you can resist having another turnover and avoid that. Um, I really want to give him. I don't see. I just think he's. I think he's a top of B. I don't think it's a lot of movement. I mean, a Saurus is movement 6. You're doing about the same thing. Don't have to do the ball handling. I just don't think strength 4 on a mobile body like that is actually that big of a deal. I'm gonna give a D to their poor Minotaur. I think it's not worth the price. Shouldn't be killing your own dwarves, and you need those hobgoblins to stick around. I think taking something that's gonna throw hits on your own players on that kind of team is gonna be to your detriment. Um, for the Beastman, I think that even with access to mutations, he's just not doing it for me. At 60k, it's actually not even a cheap lineman. I think that really hurts Chaos. I think Chaos could really use cheaper linemen to fit in more stuff. They tend not to be able to afford all 4 Chaos Warriors and the Minotaur. Um, and that's a bummer. I think 60k, probably more than you want to be spending. And you'd like more of these elite troops, these Chaos Warriors. And I gotta put Chaos Warrior in A. Um, yeah, they start with fewer skills, but that stat line is just insane. It's got, 5 speed, just 1 below average, really great armor, high strength, average agility, just all around a great body, access to amazing skills too with mutation access. Um, Usually you give him block, then you give him claw, then you give him mighty blow or some formation of that. If you want to, you can start giving them agility skills. Agility 3 is not terrible. Like they can really build out um, being a ball handler if you want to give it a shot. They're hard to knock down, makes them reliable. Um, and their Minotaur is a lot better. I'm gonna put this Minotaur over in B. I really like the Minotaur. I like the it can hunt other big guys on a blitz. I think it's pretty good. Um, for the Dark Elves, I think that their lineman is pretty good at armor 8, agility 4. Um, if I'm right, I think that and the High Elf one are the same. So I think this is pretty good. Probably costs too much. I think Dark Elves are another one that suffer from expensive linemen. This is why right now in the meta you're going to see a lot of star players on teams with cheap linemen and not a lot of elite uh, teams. So you're not going to see a lot of Wood Elves or Dark Elves taking stars. And that's too bad, but it's, 8 out of 110 at Chaos Cup. Um, the runner, I feel like it's pretty good. I'm gonna give him a B. He's got great skills. He's only armor 7, movement 7. That's not too bad. I think dump off is an interesting stat on a team when you're starting fresh, and with that agility, it's not too difficult to get the ball into someone else's hands. I know they recently fixed the assassin. He used to be slower, which I thought was such a mess at movement 6. He just couldn't get where he needed to be, and his shadowing wasn't effective. I think they nerfed shadowing in this edition in 2020. Um, the poor guy. I love stab, but it has to be on a super mobile body, and because he doesn't start with dodge, I gotta put him down at the bottom of. I don't even want to put him in C. I want to put him in D. Is he the worst thing in the game? Yeah, yeah, probably. He's bad in League because he doesn't accrue star player points. And I don't even think he's good in tournaments. He's not doing what you need to be doing, which is interrupting your opponent's plans and making decisions that are going to be impactful. Stabbing is using up a block on an unlikely to do anything. Because you have to break that armor. And even breaking 7 armor, that's an 8 plus. Less than half of the time you're going to do that. it's just too swingy for me. I don't like it. Um, yeah, I love stab though. I like it on gutter runners. I think Skitter Stab, who is not in 2020 yet, is phenomenal. He can run around to the opponent's side, hit their catcher immediately, or take out a thrower. Um, it's just too strong not to do. But only at movement 7, he's not going to be able to do that. I don't see it. Um, the Dark Elf Blitzer is one of the best players in the game, so I'm putting him in S. I think movement 7, agility 4, starting with block, high armor, just incredible. I take him every time. Um, Witch Elf, I wish I could say the same thing for her. Kind of a liability until she gets block or wrestle. Wrestle, I think, personally makes the most sense on them, but it's kind of a feel bad moment putting wrestle on them because you want them to start killing stuff. Um, so it's really, are you going to get greedy, give them block so maybe they can knock things down, or you give them wrestle with their jump up. It just synergizes really well. I think it's still a really strong player. I'm going to go with A. So the next one is dwarves. I'm going to put this dwarf right next to the other dwarf. Um, Honestly, I think you're better out of the gate. Um, just because it has one better passing stat, uh, and the mutations, all you're really going to take is claw. The best thing you can give either one of these things is guard and stand firm. Claw's fun, but guard and stand firm is what makes them so insurmountable. That's why people hate playing against them. Uh, I think the Dwarf Blitzer's good. I don't think he's as good as just a normal dwarf lineman. You use him because you got to. Um, the Dwarf Runner, again, don't love him. Uh, this is an interesting one. I think he's good. I want to put him in A. Yeah, I think is it the Troll Slayers? I think they're I think they're great. I think they're a great solution to take out stuff that otherwise the team struggles with, and they struggle with it because they don't take their big guy because he is super thematic, really funny, super interesting. Never seen one on the field. I've never seen anybody field one of these. So then we'll go to Elven Union. I'm not super familiar playing with them, but I've definitely played against them. Um, I don't know which one's which. I think this one's the lineman. He's just kind of a cheap, crappy elf. It's the cheapest elf you can get. It's why the team is good. You can field a lot of these movement 6, armor 7, but agility 4 guys. So it's the cheapest agility 4 you can field. Because of that, I'm going to put him high in B. I think that's really a great advantage to keep it cheap and still get that agility. Um, I think it's Nerves of Steel on the catcher. Not as interested in that. I think it's, for the price you're paying, it's about the same as an Amazon catcher. A little more mobile. That leaves their thrower. I don't even know. What is the Elven? I got to check the book on that one. What does the thrower have? Do they just have pass? Or is it also sure hands? I got to check my notes. Check my notes on this one. There it is. Elven throwers. Just pass. No sure hands. 75k. Get out of here. Whatever. You can be over here with the runner. Yeah, I don't love it. Um, this blitzer's crazy. He's better than the Dark Elf because he comes with sidestep. But you are paying a premium for that. You are paying, I think it's just 10k more. No, it's is it 5k more? So a a Dark Elf Blitzer is 100k, and an Elven Union Blitzer is 115k. So you're paying 15,000 for sidestep. Is that worth it? I think so. It's super annoying. It also lets them control the sidelines. They're awesome. I'm keeping it in there. Um, Yeah, amazing. I think that combined with the cheaper linemen makes the team work. I don't think it would otherwise. But generally, Elven Union is slower than the other elf teams, which really just makes them a little less competitive. But their blitzers are great. How good is a goblin? I don't know. I think a goblin's pretty bad. Sorry. I hate the secret weapons. I'm putting the bomber down on D. I don't know, maybe a C. The chainsaw down here as well. The pogo. This is bad. This thing is probably a little better than the death roller. Um, I actually think the fanatic's pretty awesome. I'll put him in B. See, the thing with the Doom Diver, I gotta put it up in A. You can really get those one-turn touchdowns with the Doom Diver. He he really makes goblins effective scorers when they didn't used to be. They used to have to slog it out. Now they can throw that Doom Diver with swoop, and it's pretty great. Um, I think they have the train troll, so I think theirs is on a 3+ loner. Still pretty bad. It's okay for a big guy. I'm gonna put him in B. He's all right. Here we go. The halfling hopeful. I gotta put halflings. Just terrible. They're cheap, which is why they're good. Would I rather have an assassin on my team? Yeah, over halfling. The catchers are really good. I'm putting him in B. Just a cheap guy that can get down the field. I don't love the hefties though. I don't know how necessary they are for the team, especially because they're combination frontline fighter just with that extra armor and fend and passing, which just seem to be two different diametrically opposed positions on the field. If I'm going to put something in the pitch, I either want it in the back to be my passer or on the line to be kind of the meat shield. It doesn't make sense that it's trying to fill both roles. I don't love that. Um, the halfling tree is great. I think the halfling tree is probably, I don't know. I'm trying to put them in a little bit of order in these lists, and I feel like where do I want a tree on my team? Yeah, I want it more. Yeah, I just feel like it's here. It's like it's a great player with kind of a gimmicky, weird thing that makes him great. Um, they don't have loner and they have timber, so much better than the wood elf tree. So we're going into high elves, and I feel like the high elves are the same as the dark elves for the most part. So I feel like where did I put the dark elf linemen? Let's put them right next to each other. This one is also the same. The difference between high elves and dark elves is why would you ever play high elves when dark elves get twice as many of the blitzer? It's just better. Their catcher's good. Unfortunately, he doesn't start with any skills. Um, I guess except catch. Is that right? Yeah, I think he has catch. Um, this is a team of legend. So because of that, I just want to feel like, yeah, I can't wrap my head around why high elves exist and why they feel like so ignored when they're not really that different from some of the other teams. But yeah, I don't see a lot of people playing him. I think this player's pretty good, and I want to put it probably over here. It needs skills. I mean, movement 8 is great, agility 4 is great, but without skills, you're just not going to get a lot done. Um, I don't know if anyone's really familiar with high elves because he just seems so rarely, but their throwers are the best in the game by a long shot. They come with Cloudburster, Pass, and Safe Pass. Safe Pass is amazing. It means when you fumble the ball, you just hold on to it and the player ends their move without suffering a turnover. And he's got bonuses to do a safe throw to stop interceptions and do long bombs. It's really the only thrower in the game built to do long passes. And in a game where people are so scared to pass, that kind of reliability is outstanding. If you're gonna build a thrower, or if you ever play a draft and you decide you have some good catchers, you just need that thrower. This is the guy. There's nothing better. For humans, I'm so weird with humans because I feel like there's a missed opportunity. I hate that the catchers are strength 2. I feel like a goblin is strength 2. It makes sense for maybe a elf to be strength 2, but a human should really be on average strength 3. So having a strength 2 human feels off. It's like feels strange. I get they have lower armor. That makes sense. They're lighter. They're not as bulky. They're not as tough. But being just physically weaker feels weird. I don't like that. So I feel like the human catcher can get out of here. I don't like you. Um, yeah, better than a beast man. Human lineman, again, I don't know what I want, a human lineman or an Amazon. I probably would take the human lineman over the hobgoblin. 10k more, you get, I guess, just an armor. I think that's it. I think the only difference is one armor. Um, which makes me think that maybe it's not as good. Maybe it's something that you'd rather a hobgoblin lineman is strength 6, 3, passing 4, AV 8 plus. Human lineman, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay for you. I'd rather have the hobgoblin. Um, the human blitzer is good. I mean, anyone with block is good, and movement 7. It really, I gotta say that movement 7's pretty good. I think you're over here. I would take you over the elf, the dwarf blitzer, and some of these elves. I just think movement 7 and block is great. Human ogre is the ogre. I think the ogre's probably more reliable than the minotaur, so I'll put him just ahead. I feel bad for the troll getting left behind. Um, and that leaves the human thrower. I think the human thrower is probably the most just kind of safe, consistent thrower. I think for throwers, you don't need high armor. You don't need a whole lot of access to things. What you're looking for is sure hands and trying to pick up the ball reliably. Hold it for a turn, then give it to whoever's going to score with it. Um, Most of the time, though, if you can help it, you'd rather just pick up the ball with whoever's going to run it and not have to worry about that inconsistent throw. Um, so I don't know. I generally don't think passers are very good in this edition. So yeah, is he? Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have a beastman. I'd rather, yeah, I think I'd rather have just a movement 6 guy with horns. I don't know. The sure hands is good. Okay, all right. Here's a nobility team. I'm not the super familiar with them. I don't know which one's which. I think you're the basic dude. Let's look up nobility team. What even? I know they got feathers. I don't think I see. I don't see many people playing them. I did see a lot of the orcs in the new box, people playing, and then slowly stopping. So that was kind of interesting. So the retainer is just fend and crappy agility. It's a lot like the old Bretonians. Um, in that situation, I really feel like. But are they cheaper? They're 45. Okay, well, if you're 45, you're halfway between a human and a hobgoblin. So there you go. You could be there. The lower agility sucks, but you're going to be on the line anyway, so it doesn't matter. Um, that leads into the thrower. Thrower is running pass. I don't love it. I don't love it over sure hands. I think that's worse. So if I was gonna, I'd rather have a goblin chainsaw than a guy with pass. 75k. Yeah, 9 armor, probably more than you need. The Imperial Retainer is only 8 plus, which is pretty weak. Um, that leads us to the Blitzers, which are block and catch. Not as good as the old Knights used to be. I don't know. I think at 105 for block and catch, especially because I don't really want them to catch. I'd rather just pick up the ball with them with that movement 7. So I think they're kind of bloated, paying for skills they don't need. That makes me think I don't like them. I think they're overcosted. I think that catch is just making him cost too much. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I'd rather pay half as much. I could get 2 human linemen for the price of that guy. Um, and then what do we got here? The bodyguard, stand firm and wrestle. I actually think he's pretty good. I'm gonna put him in a good B spot. I think I'd take him over an ogre. And then their ogre, which I think is the same. So we'll just put him with his buddy. Uh, this is actually kind of a weird thing. So these images are from uh, the Khorne demons, but I'm not going to go over the Khorne demons because I just feel like that roster is always kind of a mess. I don't like it. I'm really excited about the new Khorne roster. Um, the biggest difference is that the new linemen have lower armor, and I think they're cheaper, and I kind of love that. But I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna put him in a high C. I like. I like him. I like Frenzy. I think Frenzy's cool. It gives you a lot of board control. I think that's awesome. The new Beastman they got, the Korngors, awesome. Great blitzers. They come with Juggernaut and horns. Makes them super reliable, super fun. I'm putting them high B for sure. The new Khorne, I don't know what they're called. The blood splatters, blood somethings. Uh, dude, I mean, a Chaos Warrior with any skill on him is awesome. So I'm putting him top of A. That having, I guess, one less agility, but it's not a big deal. And Frenzy on Strength 4 guy off the bat is great. It also gives you total control of those sidelines. The only thing that's stopping you is the Elven Union Blitzer right above him. So that's obviously why he's an S and he's going to be stuck in A. The Blood Beast, wholly irrelevant, not necessary. Don't like it. I think this team, just like I said before, that Chaos, because of their Beastmen linemen, can't technically tend to afford stars. The team gets pricey. The Khorne team has cheaper linemen. I think they'll be able to fit in everybody, but again, they don't want to take this. While the Chaos does want to take the Minotaur, um, Chaos is just looking for as much muscle as possible. The Khorne team feels like a little more finesse. It feels like they want to control the board. They want to put things where they want them. They don't need the inconsistency of this guy going wild animal and messing them up. I guess it's called Unchanneled Fury because now Animal Savagery uh, is the other one. I don't know why they made it confusing like that, but yeah, I think he's not necessary in the team. He doesn't come with the tools I think he needs. Needed to come with Juggernaut, doesn't have it. I'd say pass on him. I think he's pretty bad. Um, that leads us to Skinks. Skinks, hard A. I'll just put him right. I think right here. Stunty's a great skill. I mean, it's awesome. It sucks that it's hard for them to access stuff like block and sure hands, stuff you need. But if you need to get something somewhere, Stunty's the way to do it. And then with the movement 8, they can get there. So Skinks are awesome. Chameleon Skinks, sorry, pay more for less movement? No. I mean, the whole point is that these are already almost twice as much as a goblin for just 2 move, but that 2 move is crucial. I don't want to pay any more for less stuff. And I think the Chameleon Skinks were released just to give more dynamic options to Lizard players. Didn't really consider that Lizards already perform so well. There was no need to give him anything that was too good. I think people would have complained. And I think the Chameleon's just kind of, here's some additional flavor, here's some other options. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different. I like that it's there, even though I don't suggest taking them. SARS are great. I want to put them. I gotta put them in A. What are they better than a? Yeah, not here's probably the best spot. Strength 4, moving 6, awesome, awesome. So while it's sitting next to a dwarf lineman, I think the difference you see is that this one has a ton of skills, high armor, a lot of survivability. Strength 4 is basically the same as having something like block. It is super great offensively, super great defensively. It can overwhelm opponents. SARS are amazing. The only problem is they get bogged down. You can tar pit them really bad. Um, they hate dealing with something like snotlings or something that's going to just gunk them up and have too many bodies. They can't get through. They can't go support their ball carrier. It's kind of a mess. Um, the Croxagore, I gotta say, it's the best big guy in the game, so I gotta put him above the tree. I think the prehensile tail is great. His arm is great. His movement's good. Just a solid guy defensively and offensively. I gotta give it to Croxagore. Best big guy. Um, I don't know. This is a hot take? I don't know. Uh, Zombie A. Like, awesome. Uh, Probably the best lineman in the game, simply because you're not paying a premium for anything you don't need. You're not paying for agility you're not going to use. You're not paying for movement you don't need. And you get regenerate on top of all of that and good armor, like pretty average good armor. It's just a meat shield when you're looking for cheap meat shields. Absolutely great. Love them. The ghoul never works for me. I don't know. I can make a dodge on it with a goblin on 3+ all day. Can't do it. Can't do it with a ghoul. They always break their own necks. I hate that. Um, I hate playing undead because I just don't trust ghouls to ever make their dodges. Um, but they are the reason undead is really good. They are surprisingly fast, surprisingly effective. Um, in this case, it's for the necromantic team. So on a necromantic team, I don't think they're as good. They almost play better as your safeties. So sure, you can give one sure hands, go get the ball. I really like him with wrestle. I just want to kind of use them as heat-seeking missiles to go hunt down opponent ball carriers, or when they get too far away from their cages, maybe they haven't built their cage yet. These can be a really good threat to just kind of be on the board. Um, I don't know where they should exist here. I feel like they're about the same as a human blitzer. I think they're both moving 7. These are definitely more ball handling. I think they exist in different space. I'll put them right there. Um, I don't know how I feel about the new white yet. I haven't played with it. I love Necromantic. I have a team. I haven't played with the Wraith. But my feeling on the Wraith is that foul appearance and sidestep has proven to be exceptionally obnoxious, and everybody hates to play against it. So I got to throw him in A for now. It sucks that he can't help with the ball handling. It's not uncommon that my wolves get injured. They've got huge targets on their back, and I could rely on the whites to kind of pick up the slack if I needed it. Now that's not the case, and you really have to rely on those ghouls, and it's hard to fit in all those characters with their price tags. Um, but yeah, Necromantic is definitely a team that needs to develop a little bit or play in a tournament that has enough gold that you can afford these positions because they really need each other. Unlike Undead, Necromantic really needs more pitch control. That's what they're based off, I think, as a theme. Between Sidestep and Stand Firm, you have a really dynamic team that can do a lot, kind of set up traps, and execute pretty interesting moves. Um, the Werewolf, I'm putting him as the best character in the game. He can develop different directions. You can make him a killer. You can make him a ball carrier. You can make him a ball retriever. You can make him a safety. You can do anything with a werewolf. They come with one of the best skills in the game as far as dealing damage with claw. Most things don't have access to it. It's a mutation. And only, I think, just a couple big guys even start with claw. So being able to get that early, having regenerate defensively, having movement 8 offensively, they are just kind of the full package. They're gonna let you down until they get blocked, but man, once they get blocked, they are unstoppable. Then you can either go Mighty Blow to really, and I know Mighty Blow and Claw don't stack anymore. They're still really good. Mighty Blow lets them kind of become a bit of a Swiss Army knife, where you can say, I can take out elves even though I have Claw because I can still affect that armor roll. Um, Or I can switch targets. I can go for your big guy with my claw, or I can use my mighty blow for your lineman. It makes them dynamic. It makes them really good. Um, the flesh golem, I want to put higher, but I gotta put it down. I gotta put it down here. It just doesn't. See, is it even better than an ogre? It's not. Better than Minotaur? No, it's better than just a lineman. We'll put him down here. He's just better than a lineman. um, they're just not reliable to throw blocks. I know they're strength 4, but they're just so too slow. They get stuck next to whatever they're standing by. I don't like really their biggest fear is they'll get stuck next to a zombie, and that 40k guy is stopping however much this guy costs, which I think went up. I can't remember. Let's look. The flesh golem 115. If a 40k guy can stop 115 of value on your team from doing anything, yeah, that sucks. So just too easy to lock up, too easy to cause turnovers with bad blocks. Until they get blocked, they're just not that good. And then we come down to the Norse linemen, and I love Norse. I took 5th at Chaos Cup. I actually tied with the 3rd place guy, my buddy Brian 2, me, and then I think one other person. We all tied for 3rd, and then strength of schedule dropped me down because I tied in my first game, and that kind of set me to the very middle table, and I had to win all my games to get back up, while the other guys were just kind of winning all the games for the whole first day, and so their strength of schedule was really high, so I was lucky to get 5th at all. But yeah, it was good. I love Norse. I feel like a blocking lineman for 50k is awesome. I want to put you here. It's just too good. It's cheap. It's the best skill in the game. People argue with me about the second best skill in the game, whether it's guard or dodge. I think it's guard. I think dodge is good, but I mean block far and away the best thing in the game. Norse thrower, get out of here. I don't need block on my thrower. It's just not necessary. I don't want him to have the ball anyway. And he doesn't have sure hands. And that's the skill you really want on the guy that's going to get the ball. Pass doesn't make any sense. I don't even like him here. I think you're bad down. Bad down here. If he had sure hands, he'd be great. I don't want to pay extra. Sometimes I'll get it just like I took one to Chaos Cup just so I had access to leader because I couldn't afford any rerolls. And I had, I think, 2k extra, or the 20k I needed to upgrade him. So that's the only time you'd take a thrower, really. The runners are interesting because I like the Dauntless and the little bit of extra speed. But again, you're paying a lot for just +1 move. The Dauntless isn't that big of a deal. I want to put him just kind of maybe the bottom of B. Better than a halfling. Probably better than a troll. I love the blitzers. People argue about the blitzers, though. Are they worth the cost? I think so. They develop so easily into tackle mighty blow and just become a terror to any team that's trying to score. Definitely anyone who's feeling hack phlegm right now was scared of those when I took them to Chaos Cup. So I like them. I like them a lot. Are you better than, I think, the human... Are you better than a dwarf blitzer? Yeah. I'll put you over there. I think that's fair. Ulfwarners, Strength 4, Frenzy, I love it. You're up here. You're up with your other Frenzing buddy. This guy's a little faster, actually. Lower armor, doesn't have access to the mutations. But yeah, once you get block on them, they're great. The Yeti, again, it comes with Claw. I don't know. I don't feel like I like it that much. I'm going to put it at the top of C. A Rotter, he's get out of here. Rotters, I hate them. They just, they do everything that a zombie wants to do, but they do it so poorly. Because they're so likely to get kicked off the pitch and then killed. I I just don't like them. I think they're just a bad version of a zombie. Um, yeah, when I think about pestigores, I like them on paper. I want to put it right next to the Khorne. The regenerate's awesome. Um, yeah. They cost a lot. If you look at the cost versus a regular Beastman, which I guess is down here. I hate that he's down here so far, because I really like Beastman. They need stuff, and these both have stuff. It still needs block to be effective. That makes me want to put him lower. It kind of costs a lot. I'm going to put you down behind all these great blockers because you're just not cutting the mustard when it comes to those things. Those things are just so much more effective. Um, Again, I hate to do this, but I'm putting you down here too. The bloaters, all their defensive, kind of distracting, disruptive skills don't do enough. I just don't see it happen. While Chaos Warriors are way up here, I'm paying a premium for a guy that's slower, less agility, just isn't getting as much done. They have some silly abilities, but in a current meta where no one's passing, I don't really need anti-passing skills. It's not doing much. For the Beast of Nurgle, I like him. I like him as a big guy. Is he better than a tree? Is he better than? I think he's so good. Um, yeah, I like him. Yeah, yeah. He shuts down a lot of stuff. Yeah, a solid high B. Sure. Yeah, I think that's right. Ogres, Snotling. I just let's put them at the top of D. Let's say Snotlings are the best of the garbage, just because they're cheap. Swarming, I don't know if I'd actually include that as part of the character. Definitely don't pick them. I mean, would you pick in a draft? Would you pick any of these things over a Snotling? Um, I don't know. Maybe it's just like the cheap thing that can fill out your team. If you have like a gold cap, so maybe cheap guy fill out your team. Definitely, I'd take it over the Rotter for sure. And then we have the Ogre. We'll put the Ogre next to the other Ogre. This one doesn't have Loner, I guess is the difference. And then the Runt Punter, we'll just put as the number one Ogre. Here we go. All the Ogres can just chill out together. They can be friends. I hate what they did to Orcs. Orcs all have animosity now, except for the big uns that only have animosity to the big uns. So honestly, your best ball carrier is your big un because he can actually hand off the ball. I think that really hurts the throwers. So I hate the new thrower. They're just not a passing team anymore, and that bums me out. They got great armor. I think this is a solid B. I think this guy's up here with the Norse lineman. Um, what you're getting is a great value for the cost. Um, High armor, not as fast. Maybe it doesn't belong here. Maybe it belongs, yeah, maybe more towards the middle. We'll do that. Um, the blitzers are okay. Again, they really want to be running the ball, so I'll put them in B as well. The big ones are awesome. They increased their move, so they're faster than they used to be. So big ones and not having animosity, being able to hand out the ball, good for you guys. Awesome. We're gonna put the goblin right next to the other goblin, which means we'll also put this troll. The other ones, I think, this is an untrained troll, so this troll's actually worse. So I want to put it down here. If you have a trained troll, I think the Black Orc team does, and Snotlings do. The untrained troll is Loner 4+, so he's a little worse. Not the worst big guy. I put other big guys down here, but I think that because there's a version that's just so much better, it's just so much better. Where would I put a clan rat? I don't know. It's not the worst. It's movement 7, but it's pretty low armor with no skills. I'll put it down in C. Sorry, buddy. Surprisingly, I think the new Skaven thrower with its passing skill of 2 plus, movement 7. Again, what I talked about with passers, you don't want to waste gold on skills you don't need. The things you want is the pass and the sure hands, high movement, get where you're going. I think that's one of the best throwers in the game. I mean, obviously not as great as the high elf, but like, what a deal! Really, just it turned from a average thrower to basically another gutter runner. He's gonna get the ball where it needs to go. He's awesome. Gutter runners. I mean, the no. Still think the werewolf's better, but no contest. Gutter runners are amazing. They start with every skill they need, which is just dodge, agility 4, movement 9, fastest thing in the game. Super obnoxious, good at harassment. If you can build it into a ball sacker, they are phenomenal. They can get horns with mutations. They can get big hand. If you can build one with horns and wrestle, maybe move in a strip ball, absolutely amazing to go get the ball. Then you got 3 more coming to go grab it. I love them. Um, Something that's surprising about the Skaven Blitzer that people don't always notice is it's the exact same as the human Blitzer. So we'll put you right next to the human Blitzer. Same stats, same cost. Um, I think that's true. Maybe it changed. Let's double check that. Because the Skaven Blitzer has access to mutations, he might be a little more expensive. So yeah, so the human Blitzer is 85, and the Skaven Blitzer, I'm sure, is 90. So you're paying just 5k gold. Yeah, just 5k for mutation access. So let's say he's a little lower because he has to develop a little bit differently. But this guy can get claw, and this guy can get 2 heads, and he can get other things that are going to really help him out. So I like the way it develops. Skaven Blitzers are good. The Skaven team is good. I really like it. But I don't like the changes to the Rat Ogre. I think the Rat Ogre is bottom of C. I really hate that. I don't want to eat my own rats. I don't want to help my opponent pitch clear me. And I get pitch clear to Skaven. It's a bummer. It feels bad. I hate the changes, but it does make it more reliable. And sometimes the Skaven strategy is really to punch a hole or push through, get through your opponent's line so your gutter runners can kind of flood in. And the worst thing you can have happen is you're going to use your frenzied rat ogre to go punch that hole, and he wild animals on you and you can't do it. Now that's not going to happen. It could kill your own guy, but you got that hole. The gutter runners are through. Maybe it's reliable enough. Maybe that makes it worth it. Let's put you with the lion rat. There you go. You guys can be together. This is a bunch of snotlings again. I'm just gonna put them all together. All of you guys suck. The real best thing about these, I don't like secret weapons. I don't like the pump wagon. But if you can get the bribes, it's just basically more trolls. The stupid stilts, they're all so dumb. This troll, I think, is another trained troll. So we'll put you next to the other one. This is a skeleton. So while I put the zombie at the top of A, which I think is where it goes, the poor skeleton is going to go over here. I mean, we'll put you above the hefty. But man, I don't like you. I don't like it. I think that the armor 8 on which is a 9 plus on the zombie is just so much better. It's just so much better. This guy, the movement doesn't matter. I just don't see it being a big thing. Yeah, so here's the other skeleton. I think this is the Khemri skeleton, so we'll just put him right next to it. Then we have the Thro-Ra, which he just sucks so bad. He's so bad. D. Don't ever take him. You know what? He's bad at what he's supposed to be good at. I'll make him the worst player in the game. If you're picking up the ball on a 4+, you shouldn't be picking up the ball. like it's stupid. Get out of here. Worthless. Strangely, I think that this is pretty good. So, where did I put... Now I gotta figure out where I put the white. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I even did put down the white yet. Oh, I didn't. Where even is it? Oh, maybe I messed up somehow. Okay, so uh, it's a good blitzer. Um, it's the same as the undead white, but it has thick skull, and that makes it a pretty great blitzer. So I don't know, man. I'm thinking A. He has one lower agility. Let's put him down. Let's put him over here. I think he's good at his job. I think it's a good blitzer. Hard to remove, regenerate, the thick skull, uh, and I think he is movement 6. Well, a white is movement 6, right? So if we go down and look at, where is it? Skeleton linemen, anointed blitzers. They're moving 6. They're not that fast. Block, regenerate, thick skull. Oh, they have it wrong on the thing. On the PDF from Warhammer Community, they have its primary stats as agility and strength, but then the secondary is agility and passing. So I think they meant to say general. So there's a typo here. Um, and movement 6, though, I don't think they're as good as... I'd really rather have the Skaven. I mean, they're... Would I rather have this guy? Or the Frenzy guy? I'd rather have Frenzy. So we're going to put you... I'm going to move this guy. Let's put all these blitzers together. This is just kind of the blitzers. They're all kind of high B. Unless you're really killing it with what you're hitting. And I think that there's just so much more benefit in something like the Wraith, the Troll Slayer, over these just kind of general, pretty basic blitzers. That leads us to the Tomb Guardians. I mean, I don't know what to say of the Tomb Guardians. I played Blood Bowl long enough ago that I remember when Tomb Kings was still an experimental team, and they'd just come out, and I think that's right. I think they'd just come out. I think GW released them, and they were metal models, and it was basically undead with 4 mummies, and it was insane. It was just so much mighty blow. It was very reliable, and the team just could not score to save its life, but they would destroy your team. So people just hated playing against them, and they were a mess. I think that these guys, for their price and what they do, it's really more pitch control more than doing damage, even though you see a bunch of Strength 5 guys. And Decay means that they tend not to just be around forever and get a bunch of skills. They kind of start picking up niggling injuries pretty quickly. I think they're kind of an interesting thing, like I would describe the Pestigore. I'd put it kind of in that space where it's a cool thing that does something interesting, but not something you're going to rely on every game. Uh, Here's another zombie. This is for the undead. I'm going to put him right up by the necromantic. Awesome. Love zombies. This ghoul we're going to put next to the other ghoul so they can look pretty cool. Mummies. I gotta scroll up. Mummies are great. Take them. Definitely take them. One of the best things in the game. It's a big guy without being a big guy. There's nothing that beats that. Avoiding the negative trait. And normally you're going to have loner and a neg trait on all of these big guys that you're looking at. The mummy doesn't have either. He has no negative trait. He has no loner. He comes with mighty blow. He has the same problem where he doesn't have access to block. But at strength 5, it's just so good. I don't think there's any argument that these 3 or 4 guys, best things in the game. And it's not close. Yeah. This is Underworld. So Underworld has Snotlings. I just put you down here, whatever. Underworld Goblins. Underworld Goblins, though. I'm gonna put you here. Underworld Goblins have access to mutations. Uh, 2 heads on Underworld Goblins, crazy. Uh, Big hand on Underworld Goblins, really good. If you can get both, that's crazy. They can do a lot of shenanigans. I think it's an interesting character that you can build out in different ways. This one is the same as the other one, but has mutations. So let's move you. Let's move you really high. I like this guy. I think he's over here with this. Oh, yeah. No, screw it. Let's put him in A. He's great. Um, the Skaven Blitzer is already just a human Blitzer, but now with mutation access. Movement 7, good armor. Give him claw off the bat. This is great. A, for sure. The Gutter Runner does not have regular mutation access, so he's not quite as good, but he's still pretty good. I think he has Animosity on Underworld. Let's double check. But it's only, but I mean, he's not moving the ball to anybody else. I mean, here we go. The Underworld Gutter Runner, Animosity to the Goblins. He's 85. He does have mutation access. Holy crap, he's so good. How much you paying for him? 85, it's the same. 85. 85 on the Gutter Runner, and he has mutation access as a primary. Well, shit, this is the best player in the game. Which one was he? This guy? Oh, I still like the werewolf more. I don't know what to think now. Wow. Is the Underworld Gutter Runner the best player in the game? He can get horns and turn into that. Oh, man. Sure. Yeah. Sure. And then the Mutant Rat Ogre, which sucks. Where's the other Rat Ogre? I'll put you over here. You also have mutation access. What would I even put on it? It already has Prehensile Tail, so I don't know. Like, I would normally put something like Tentacles on it. Still has Animal Savagery. Mighty Blow 4+. It's the same as the regular Rat Ogre, but with mutations. So I guess that makes it better. I don't know what mutation I would give it. I think it used to be that 2 heads stacked with Break Tackle, but there's a change to Break Tackle, and it's just not as good. But that would be an option if you just always wanted him to get out of the situation he was in, or, which used to be the case, you could put 2 heads on a Minotaur with Break Tackle, and he could get into a cage on basically, because you use your strength as your agility, and 2 heads just said add 1 to whatever that roll is. So you were rolling at agility strength 5. 2 heads was effectively giving it agility 6. You could get a Minotaur into a cage and throw a block at strength 6. You might be able to do something similar with this guy if you tried the 2 heads with Break Tackle. I don't know if it's Dax anymore. I'd have to double check that, but generally having mutation access on generals is just a little better. And that means we have just some crappy Line Rat. Again, mutation access. He's just a little bit better. But you're trading him for Animosity, but yeah, it's not a problem. I don't think so. Same thing with the Thrower, which is 85, which I think is the same, right? The Thrower is 85 and the regular Skaven too, yeah. And you still have Thrower. Pass Sure Hands. It's just so good. It's just so good. Sure. I don't know. There's no mutation I'd give it, though. I can't imagine. 2 heads is great. Extra arms. Probably extra arms. Then he picks the ball up on a 2 with a reroll with Sure Hands. That's great. For sure. They also have access to the Underworld Troll, which is a mutant troll. Still loan on a 4+, which isn't fantastic. Only 115k. This is a guy you want to give tentacles. This guy's great. Let's put him. Oh, I'm sorry, Croxagore. I just made this guy. He's the best big guy. Um, yeah. For 115, cheap, can get a lot of stuff. Do I love it though? No, he's probably just a little better than. He's got to actually get tentacles first, so we'll put him right there. That makes more sense. A thrall is just a hobgoblin, so put him next to the hobgoblin. What do I do with a vampire? What do you even do? uh, uh, like I'm looking at this list of all this stuff. Where does a vampire go? You know what? When I keep talking about kind of the goofiness that's in this area, does a vampire go top of B? All these guys have neg traits, like whatever the tree does, take root. Um, really stupid, bonehead. Uh, I don't. I'd rather have for the price. I'd rather have some of this stuff. Uh, if you're playing, well, now if you play the draft, it makes sense to take a vampire because you're not reliant on thralls anymore. You can bite anybody. So maybe he's just kind of a cool, dynamic, can do a little bit of everything guy you can keep on your team. Just bite anybody you need to. Just eat up these cheap blind men or snotlings or whatever you've picked up. Um, or maybe bite something that's tougher. I think. Do you just make an armor roll? I think you make an armor roll. So maybe high armor stuff. Um, I don't know. I haven't played enough vampires. I played the Strigoi, the stunty team on Fumble, like, geez, 15, 16 years ago. I hated them. They're so bad. Um, do I want to say, yeah, high B for vampire. That makes sense to me. Um, and the last thing we have is the Wood Elf team. And the Wood Elf team has probably gone through the most controversial changes since 2020 came out. Um, of all the changes that happened to the game, Wood Elves were nerfed. I think that's easy to say. They're not as strong as they were, but I mean, they were dominant before. Their win rate was like 65%, which was absurd. They were just too good. A lot of it had to do with the War Dancer, which I think is this guy. So we'll start with the regular line guy. I think I have elves in here somewhere where I've. Here's the elves from the other teams. The difference here is that this guy's movement 7. So you can see that I have the rats here. They're movement 7, same armor. These guys are movement 6, same agility, 1 higher armor. And when it comes to linemen, I like the agility. I want my linemen to kind of just be in the way. I don't need a bunch of super hyper agile linemen or super fast linemen. It's not for what they're doing. I want to put it here. Their catcher, again, used to be faster, not quite as good. Only strength 2. It has dodge, comes with it. It's kind of like just a worse gutter runner. And I put gutter runners really high. But I just don't think this guy does the same stuff. And without mutation access, he's just not as good. Um, Still a good thing for scoring. I still have to respect that move in 8. I don't think it's worse than a ghoul. Let's put it. Gotta put him. I don't know. Would I rather a vampire? This guy. Maybe a vampire's more fun. We'll put him there. Um, it's not where it goes. Like we'll put him there. I mean, he's good. He's good. I think I'm just bummed that he's not as good as he was. Um, their thrower again, just kind of not great. I feel like he's doesn't have sure hands. He doesn't do what he's supposed to be doing. He's a 2+ to pick it up, and he's still 95K. Still kind of pricey. Let's put him over by whatever this guy was. I don't even remember. Is he better than Pestigore? No, I like the Pestigore and the Tomb Guardians. Better than the Orcs. Let's put him here. I'll go to their tree. Their tree sucks. It's a much worse tree than what the Halflings get. The Halflings tree is great. This tree's not good. Bottom of C. Actually, on the Wood Elf team, I mean, I know it's nice to take a tree so you can kind of bring the setting with them. Don't. This is too expensive. The rest of your team is just too pricey. Don't take him. That leaves the War Dancer. The War Dancer was S tier number 1 in 2016 and for the last 25 years of the game. In 2020, he is not S tier. But he's still really good. He's an A tier for sure. I mean, he's movement 8 and comes with blodge. The leap is not that big of a deal anymore. But is he better than a Sars? Yeah. Better than a Skink? Yeah. Better than an Ulf? Yeah. Better than this Frenzy guy? Yeah. He's better than a zombie. Okay, well, I gotta do that. You're paying 125. So basically, you're getting one move and dodge and leap and one less armor than these guys I put in S. And I don't even know if they really belong in S. I mean, they're so good. Let's put these guys on top of A. And then let's really, look at what S is and say that these are standout best things in the game for what they're doing. There's no bigger mighty blow delivery system out of the box than a mummy. There's no better scoring threat than a gutter runner. There's no better, I would say, positional to develop in the way you want than the werewolf. Yeah, and as far as blitzers, the Elven Union blitzer is just awesome. Comes with a great toolkit. And the best throw in the game is definitely high off. So, yeah, I'd rather get, I don't know, is this, yeah, these are better than the, it's hard to say. The Dark Elf Blitzer used to be weaker than the War Dancer because Leap was so strong. Now, I'll take a hit a move to get more armor to just be able to develop these guys versus this guy who's going to get splattered, not after too long. Yeah, and I think that's my tier list. I think I left out the white, which I probably failed to download the file. I think the white would be some with the blitzers here somewhere. Probably right next to the anointed blitzer here. So yeah, thank you so much for sticking around and listening to my silly tier list. I don't think it's super comprehensive or even very good. Most of these I just came up with on the spot. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that I put a lot of stuff in B, a lot of stuff in C. I feel like this is fair. I think that this is... Yeah, when I think of... I can't complain. I think this all looks pretty good. Yeah, I think I nailed it. I don't know. I feel like everyone has their favorite team. They're going to come back and say, you didn't put my guys where I like them because I think my guys are awesome. For instance, maybe the Dark Elf Runner with Dump Off is just way more dope than I thought. I know it's annoying to play against, but, on a Dark Elf team, I don't even need them. I'll just do a lineman. Just have a lineman do it. And then if I have to, I'll just do a handoff to one of the blitzers. And the blitzer up here, obviously way better. Top of A. One of the best things of the game. And let me know if you think these are the best things of the game. I definitely think so. But I'm also super biased because I love Skaven and I love Necromantic. So obviously these are my two favorite things. But I think a lot of what draws me to those teams is I think they have the best positionals in the game. It's why I've also tried Undead, which I just don't like because I just don't like the ghouls because I can't dodge out. Also, I've never played as high elves. I don't. Maybe I probably did on Fumble a long time ago, but I've definitely never played Elven Union. Um, I think they're both interesting teams. I think more people should try high elves. Um, when you start playing 2020 Blood Bowl and they start seeing you pass these long bombs, they're gonna think you're a pretty cool guy, and this guy's gonna enable that. So, um, definitely one of the better throwers in the game, if not the best thrower in the game right now, if not the only thrower who's gonna actually be able to throw those. Thank you guys so much. I'm planning on making more Blood Bowl content. I'll talk about a lot of my tournaments. I want to go to Nottingham. I'm planning on it. I live in Utah, so that's kind of a trip. But my girlfriend's really excited about going to Scotland and visiting some places there. So if she's on board, it might be feasible. So I'll see. Also have LVO in January, so that's in Las Vegas, and that's a great time. So I'll catch you guys up on those. Thank you so much for checking it out. Subscribe. I need to get a certain amount of people so I can like name the channel and stuff. So that'd be a super big help. Yeah, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think should have gone where, if the entire Snotling team belongs at the bottom or not. Because I know they've been performing okay. I think a lot of that is due to Hackplum and Morg, but maybe in the future I'll do a star player one. Thank you guys.